views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Show you the way. Let me be your shining light, keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try.
Why, hello, it's me again, Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. This is another show with my favorite people, Susie Sexton.
Hi, Patty.
Hello. And then Terry Doran, my co-host.
Hi, Patty.
And then Dawn Sexton.
Hi, Patty.
Yes. The first show, I almost forgot her name. Sorry. But, I did. My mom
I can't forget the name of your show because
Patty's
I remember
Page.
I was waltzing with my darling. The Tennessee Waltz. How much is that dog in the window?
I was just talk about dogs.
No, it's Terry's turn to talk about.
Oh, Terry's turn. Okay, let's go to Terry.
You know, last show with Don and Susie and Patty, we talked about one of the things, the main thing, was Susie's blog and her writing, and Don's letters, the editor, and the treatment of human beings of animals. And my question is, what is in us that compels us to treat each other and animals the way that we do, so grossly unfairly? For example, we were talking a little bit about hunting, mostly about the pig wrestling at Whitley County Fair, and it's Allen County Fair, and Noble County Fair, and you have 4 kids from 4-H in a ring with 1 pig, and I said, turn it around and have 4 healthy adult pigs in there with 1 human being. Let's see how that works out.
And they wouldn't do a darn thing.
And everything is unfair. Yeah. And for example, in between shows, I found this in the library stack. And here's a picture of a beautiful deer. And I remember Susie mentioning hunters. And I live across the street from a park. And one day, a year ago, just about a year ago today, my basset hound and I were over there on our walk, and we saw 2 beautiful male deer with the antlers, young, just gorgeous. It was like a dream. It was against the sun, and at first I thought I seen a mirage. And I told this to several people. They said, oh, my son would have shot him. Maybe not in the park, but I mean, he would have wanted to, or son-in-law, whatever. What makes a human being want to destroy something this beautiful? And I would say this, I said to Don in between shows, let's say in that park, it's a park where there's no limits to hunting and all that, so it's a forest, say, of woods, and you have 1 deer, you have 1 human being, no gun, no bow and arrow. Let's see who would win. Let's see a human being catch that deer. Come on, anyone.
There's some footage like that on Facebook.
I want to see the gold, the Olympic gold medal winner. I want to see him catch this deer. I want to see it. I want to see somebody handle this deer without weapons. See, human beings.
There's an athlete.
It's all unfair.
There's a natural athlete there.
Yeah, and for the most part, we are inferior to animals. We can't fly. We can't swim like a fish.
We have to have costumes. Esther Williams.
We have to use our brains, but we're not doing that.
Yeah, brains. You know, that brings up the point about recently the people of Baltimore rallied protests against horrible treatment of black people, you know, the Freddie Gray transported in one of the police vans. They're speeding down the road, come to a sudden stop. He's throwing it all over the place. Anyway, he ends up dying. There's a lot of protests. Baltimore has a horrible record of police brutality and of just in general poverty for black people. And this gentleman wrote a letter in the Baltimore Sun, the Baltimore newspaper, recently, saying that the reason is that we try to take black people who come from the jungles of Africa with no civilization and put them in a civilization that he called majestic civilization. So I say pig wrestling. 4 kids with a pig. There you go. There's your majestic civilization.
Yeah, I noticed that people of indigenous as well as African, they had structure, unity in their own villages. They had their own, codes, right? My husband is part Native, and his people were, not treated right by the settlers. So it goes with human beings as well as animals. So people think that they're more superior than another one when they bully them or kill them or whatever. That is so not right, especially with humans and animals alike. So there's no compassion. We're trying to get compassion back.
We're so worried about gang activity. I'm like, the pig wrestling is an example of teaching children to gang up on something, as if we don't have that in schools. And I've always had that in schools from the beginning of time. You know, there's a few people that think, there's natural leaders that emerge, but sometimes it's natural bullies, and the teachers are even scared of them. And I'm like, I don't know how many of us, I bet most of us were bullied by a handful of privileged few. And 4-H is supposed to be wholesome. It's the summertime, and we've groomed our animals, taken such good care of them, or not. Maybe mommy and daddy did it. We load it up, and we're going to have it auctioned off. You're going to lead it around, and you're going to have special photo ops with this, and you're going to receive money. It's going to cross your palm, and you're going to say you're saving that up for college, and so all the businessmen will be there, and it's aggreganda. And Don was very nice about pig wrestling at the beginning, but I'm like, the entire creation of 4-H, I'd like to know exactly what year it was, and it's the indoctrination of youth. It's getting on board. It's like, this is our capitalistic society. This is our big industry.
And the other reason I brought this book out, besides the picture, is it's called Project Wild K through 12 Curriculum and Activity Guide. So I'm wondering, where's the activity guide for pig wrestling? Where's the activity guide for hunting? For you talk about bullies, Indiana International Monetary Fund, which is really a branch of the United States. Their office in Washington, D.C. St. Greece, we were talking about them before the first show. Those people face utter bankruptcy and despair. Suicide rate is up. Homelessness is up. People losing jobs. Imagine going to the bank and you can't even get your money out because they say we don't have any money. The bank is closed. Well, why? Why is that? Because of loans, and those are bullies. The people in the Indiana International Monetary Fund is bullies. They're bullies. In Greece, that lady from Greece is demanding that they get these countries in debt. Then they say you got to repay their debt. Oh, we can't repay the debt. We don't have any money. Okay, well then you gotta reduce all your Social Security, pension, all these things. Austerity, that's the word. From people who are millionaires, making $1 billion off these loans. Germany never repaid any loans, as I understand it, from World War II. That's why they rebounded. This is bullies. Bullies. It's part of
goose
the
stepping.
human race.
I love geese, but not goose stepping.
Well,
stepping
the
by
way
humans in black boots.
it's the way
Yeah,
human
you know,
beings
I
do
mean,
business.
the
We bully
Nazis.
each other.
Yeah.
The Holocaust.
And yet, yeah,
Even
the
when they had
Holocaust.
Just Say No to Drugs and pretty little Nancy Reagan. And oddly, I'm a liberal. John Kennedy's my favorite president, but I love Ronald Reagan. And Nancy's going, just say no. Just say no. Just say no. And I thought, gee, that's kind of, that's kind of ritualistic and goose-steppy in and of itself. And I don't know. I've been watching the GOP since I was in love with Ronald Reagan, and they've gone downhill.
Yeah.
They try to blame it on him. I'm like, no.
No.
I
not his
think he
fault.
was on the right track.
Yeah.
He had some doofuses in his cabinet. But,
Speaking about track.
oh, excuse me. We went from Greece to
Oh.
Ronnie Reagan.
To track. Well, track is Three Rivers Art Center for Kids. Patty and I have been working on it for several years, and its aim is to reduce child abuse through art by introducing art projects to kids. For example, we've done quite a few shows, maybe a dozen or so, to raise awareness in one way or another about child abuse, and now we're starting to get volunteer teachers into places. We're starting a tie-dye T-shirt project
Boys and girls.
with the Boys and Girls Club on Fairfield, and we're very excited about that. This is an example of trying to teach respect and something that kids can do.
And
Everybody
then individuality is
everybody can do art. And what you want to get away from is the comparison. No, everybody can't be a William Shakespeare or a Van Gogh, but everybody can do art and can find satisfaction. And our favorite author, at least I know it's one of your favorite, Kurt Vonnegut, our Indianapolis friend, great writer. He had a great line about art. I wish I had it in front of me. I just looked it up, but saying that, for goodness sakes, practice art, and not necessarily as a living, but as something that will give you pleasure throughout life. Whether it's scribbling into a notebook, or a computer, or doodling, or whatever it might be.
playing the piano badly.
Playing it badly.
Everybody has a gift.
Yeah.
Everybody has a
That's
gift.
mine.
And that's the beauty of art.
Yeah.
And
Expression.
expression.
Like
yes.
therapy,
Exactly.
And not even for game, just for expression.
Yeah, to let people know how you
And-
feel.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the worst of human beings, majestic civilization, the Holocaust. There you go. Well, that's majestic.
And that's what's happening with the animals since.
And that's the same thing in World War II,
Since
World War
mankind
One.
got
Geez, I just watched
crawled out
All
of the
Quiet
ocean.
on the Western Front, a
Crawl,
great
we talked a lot
anti-war
about that.
reaching
movie
for the butterfly.
that won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1940. It has lines in there about, let's just have a big field and give all the leaders guns and have them go at it. Why should we
That's
be
right.
there?
Rather than shooting quail or pigeons.
Exactly.
Or
Or
geese.
sending soldiers to fight their
That's right.
wars, have them fight it themselves. But here we are, still having one war after another.
Wars
so
and rumors of
we
wars.
should also point out that human beings do have some good traits. Some of us.
Let's talk about
I
that.
think
My
we all have.
great grandpa, didn't he, John? We're watching him in turn. George Washington, I've been told, he rode a horse and rode it right into battle, didn't he?
Right.
At least he does on that TV series.
Well, anyway, I
Even
just
though
want to
he's
say, and then
melancholy.
I'm going to stop because you guys should talk. But
No.
Okay.
you have
We never
programs
talk.
like Food Not Lawns of mostly young people, but not entirely, trying to teach us that the importance of growing our own food. So we talked about Monsanto. They put poison chemicals into the food.
Insecticides.
Killing off everything.
And
So that they're
grow your own.
And
Grow
how
your
about
own.
the
Food Not Bombs, where they
doing-
provide food for people. They go get food that's going to be thrown away. I mean, not garbage food, but food like from restaurants that just would
would not.
It's extra, or from the food bank or wherever. It's a fabulous program. They've been at several programs we've done for track, and it's fantastic, and it's free and no judgment. No going in with a card and proving that you have low income.
Yeah.
Period.
How about that type
Yeah.
of fruit and vegetables and that are being made to be more superior than the other?
And we're done for.
That's not good for the body either. What are they called?
The GMOs.
It's
GMOs.
manufactured GMOs, yeah.
Yeah, that.
And we'll all turn into James Arnass's thing or whatever. We'll all look like big cucumbers or something.
Glow in the
Monster
dark.
cucumbers.
Glow in the dark, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You were going to talk about Apaches.
Well, just that
Segway.
Segway.
in Western, our culture, with utter contempt for living things, for the most part, as evidenced by endless wars, fracking, world wars, putting fracking is drilling for oil and
how do they do that? Is
land.
it like
Cut through Indian lands.
and they cut through Indian lands,
Sacred
and a lot
lands.
of it is sacred
The
land.
Koch brothers. Let's say another name out loud.
Koch brothers, the
Yeah.
cockroaches.
Things do not go better with Coke.
And this is the value system of America, which is money. One word,
Greedy.
money. Make as much as you can, and the more you make,
Keep it for
the more
yourself.
we look up to you. Instead of looking down at people, nobody needs $1 billion or even $1 million. They want it because it makes them feel superior.
And they want more
to us
and more and more.
because we
They
don't
don't-
have $1 billion.
They're never satisfied.
And that might work if the billionaires would say, gee, look at all these poor people. Let me help them out. Oh, no. What they say is, I got $2 billion, I got to have $3 billion because Joe over here has 3.5. I got to pass him.
Keeping up with the Joneses.
And then they use it to buy elections and do bad things.
Yeah.
Fracking, put crap in your water.
Yeah.
I also noticed with the Native
We were
Americans.
just the peasantry.
The peasants.
It's the feudal system.
You know, the Native
Peasantry.
Americans did not have this type of way of thinking that the settlers brought over. They had their own community, their own rules, their own
But they
judgment.
hunted witches.
They hunted witches.
So did
American
we.
Indians. you
My
saw.
relatives.
No, it's talking about American Indians.
I thought we were at Salem. See,
Salem.
I've lost track. Said track.
It's okay. Have
Excuse
her
me.
take a nap when she gets home, Don.
The
We're
next
probably-
time I dozed off, just hit me.
Black. Oh, sorry.
What are you?
Well,
what are
we're-
you saying? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that the Native Americans and Native Canadians were not given a good, dealt a good hand of cards.
Yeah.
Being forced to live on reservations, and if you're not part of that reservation, then you're not legally who you say you are, even though you have been that way for centuries.
Well, and why are they living on reservations?
'Cause
Because
there's
the
a white
U.S.
man.
of A
Yeah.
systematically either destroyed them or rounded them up and moved them from their lands. Why? Because we wanted their lands, and moved them to lands that nobody wanted and called them reservation. Nice real estate project.
And also, Kikianga is the name of this city, really, the true name, instead of Fort Wayne. But I could go into a long conversation
And
about that one.
furor over Anthony Wayne, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's quit revering Anthony Wayne.
Yeah.
Well, I have been against Anthony Wayne, pretty much a lone
A
voice.
boy in my class is named after him, though, and I.
A lot
Anthony
of
Wayne?
people.
Oh boy.
You go up the Maumee River, from which I did last year on the Save the Maumee trip. Another great organization, Save the Maumee, trying to teach us the importance of clean water. And so again, there are human beings that are not like so many of us that are trying to do positive things. And I want to shout out to all my friends who work so hard to make things better. 2 right here, Don and Susie. Well, 3, Patty.
Patty,
And
Patty, Don, Susie, and Terry.
Terry too.
deserve credit. because you don't get paid much, if anything. It's you work hard, and yet the results might not even be immediately visible.
Maybe
But
after
they're-
you're
but
long
they're
dead,
there.
but somebody will pick up the torch and they'll go straight with it.
But they're there, and
Yes. I'm sure they
you know,
will be.
we, the majestic civilization, wiped out the Native Americans in the largest genocide in the history of the human race right here in America.
You know, one of the few politicians who dared use the word, I brought it up a minute ago when you talk about children and their artistic abilities, and everybody can be artistic, and you don't have to all, what was it we used to do, the finger painting, you
Oh,
don't
yeah,
have to do
yeah.
the same thing, you know, and I'm just, it's something you just said again, I can't remember what I was going to say, but and we're running out of time.
Yeah, we got another 7 minutes.
What did it seem like I was going to say? Don, you're good at this.
I don't remember.
Talk about
Tell her what she's
finger
gonna say,
painting
Don.
gifts that you
Oh, individuality. Robert
oh,
Kennedy. Excuse
okay.
me, I've got to bring up another Kennedy. That's the way I
Genocide.
am. Not genocide. Robert Kennedy, individuality.
Okay.
He's saying the hope of the greatness of any nation is based upon not necessarily teamwork and let's all be on the same football team and have the same cheerleaders going on. It's individuality. And when you're talking about kids, that's why I got off track. I should have this shirt.
We'll get you one.
Make some more.
Yeah.
We'll tie
That's
on.
what art is called. Art. It is individual, and it's appreciate what comes forth from different kids in a class. I taught school and I did my share of that. I'm like I was just
What do
pleased
you
that
teach?
somebody thought their own thoughts, not
that's-
group think.
that's
Because
good.
kids
Yeah.
are programmed from the get go to do this group think, and it
Wow.
can sometimes devolve into
Well, and
cliques and bullies until the end of time.
And we actually put down creativity.
Yeah.
What do you
They're-
mean
they're
you're not
taking-
thinking?
That's kinda
like I'm
odd, yeah.
thinking?
They're taking
gotta
creativity
think
out
while
of
you're
schools
wrong.
now.
You don't think like I
Artwork
think.
and
You know, and when I was in school, I never heard the term. I can't even think of it. What is it? ADHD? It's not, something about you
Oh,
can't
attention
can't
deficit.
sit
I
still.
love attention deficit
Yeah,
disorder.
yeah,
It's my
yeah,
favorite
yeah. I
thing.
never heard of it.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. Nobody
Yeah.
came into our room and said, "You got
Yeah.
ADHD, attention
So
deficit."
Because you're
have
thinking
some
about too
drugs.
many
Now-
things.
Now and Don's point is, it actually has very good points.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking, thinking for yourself.
This kind of connects to that, or this is in disagreement with that. I mean, even a group discussion like this, which people, we should be proud that we're doing this. Because a couple of us are GOP and a couple of us are progressives. There is a GOP over there. But this just doesn't happen anymore. It's
Well,
you got your Fox Network, you got Rachel Maddow, and those shows are pleasant, but mix them up. Are those people
if
capable
human
of
beings have
solving
anything
problems?
that's superior, it ought to be our ability to think and our ability to disagree without getting guns and shooting each other.
Yeah.
Like Don had said on the first show, you take a stand against pig wrestling. A stand, meaning you write letters to
there's
the
a-
editor, you make your views
it gets pretty
present.
bad when you have
Supposed
to do
to
that.
be the essence of what America's about.
Yeah.
Then you get threats
Yeah.
from people. Threats. Not like I disagree with you. Here's why I think
They're
pig
not
wrestling
thinking.
is good.
Sociopath.
Give us a reason. No, threats.
Yeah.
Because they can't think of a reason that it's good. They know it's
How
not
dare you
good.
question this? And I'm like,
And this is why you watch this show. Okay, you're a hunter. You say I'm wrong. All right, then tell me. Write a letter. Say I'm wrong. Occasionally, I am wrong. There was that time back
Yeah,
in.
you made a mistake
Yeah, there was
once,
that
didn't you?
time. What was that year I made a mistake?
Google
Anyway,
it.
yeah, Google it.
Terry's mistake.
Anyway, I am wrong. I call myself an inept male. I don't pretend to be any kind of smart
Inept. I'm
person.
inept.
But
All
anybody
humans are
with a
that.
brain can see that killing each other
It's not
is
logical.
not a majestic civilization.
logical.
And killing animals
No.
and mistreating them and mistreating each other.
Now they're doing chemicals,
Biodiversity?
germ warfare.
Oh.
That's a negative right there.
Well, so much of our brain power is used in ways to destroy each other.
And our planet.
Destroy animals and each other with warfare.
Well,
Like,
why do we want to destroy each other? I don't understand the logic. Okay, I'm a
Well,
logical
we are
person,
running out of room. That's a problem
but we
on,
don't start.
on this planet.
But animals are becoming extinct.
Yeah,
certain
but
tribes.
they're artificially
alarming rate.
inseminated. My son will not yet let me use my blog. He says, "Mother, you can't use rape rack every time you're trying to startle your reader. Don't say rape rack." But that's what they do with these cows. They line all these wonderful, gentle, serene beings up, and and if they're pregnant, every time they turn around, and every glass of milk has this much pus in it because they are milked so often. Even these wonderful carousel places you can go, it's like Disneyland. You can watch the cow mommy behind glass with her baby right before they're drug off and both slaughtered. Come to Indiana and listen to the Disney music and ride the shuttle bus, and it's dreamland. Dreamy dreamland, I'm with you. Bull. Yes. Ooh. And it's agreganda, and it's directed at our children. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it does. Done.
Well, we're back to, I think, the factory farming discussion again, and it's evil breeds evil, okay? Because now, like we're laughing about, okay, everybody's got to eat bacon, meat. Well, that means you need to raise more animals to feed more meat, which means we need more grain to feed these animals, and we can't feed the rest of the world. So
And
we've
we're
got
taking
starving,
it out of children's mouths
and
in third worlds.
it's insanity.
If you think
and
sending
there's
a
no
$10
win.
check a week to starving children is any help,
Where
tell
does it
your
go?
friendly farmer to quit overbreeding or to quit it altogether, because meat is bad for us. It's bad for our children, and the children in third world countries will be able to keep their own grain and have their own loaves of bread. It's that simple. It's not complicated. It could be done starting tomorrow.
You know something? That's good, because I was going to say this world is made out of haves and have-nots. The haves should help the have-nots. We should be all equal, not separate from
And
each
should
other,
be eager to do so.
and to help each other with compassion and love.
We must have all, we are good kids.
So,
I don't know where we went right, but we are nice kids.
this is the end of the show, another end of the show, and we're going to have you on, not now, or not another show, but on some other time.
We're going to show all of you how to play bridge.
Thank you for coming on to my show, you guys.
Thank you.
Don.
Thank you for the invitation, Patty. Thank you.
Terry.
Patty, thank you.
Thank you,
Susie.
Patty.
And me, Patty Hunter. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Godspeed, my love, until